Okay, welcome back everyone to another Serenum Sokoban session. So last time we started to do some cleanup code before we actually went on with the boat logic, but we ran into a compiler bug. So now I want to just create a temporary fix for this, and then I continue to clean up the code. We'll then create a vector2 struct and rewrite much of the code so that we're just using kind of vectors instead of separate x and y coordinates. Once we've done that, we'll then get onto the main task of the day, which is getting the boat movement working correctly. And once that's done, we should be able to finish play the first screen of the game, and then that will be a lot of some of the core gameplay done. Okay, so last time we found that the following crashes the Brevis compiler, at least the version of the compiler released in version 6. And so I think it's something here to do with these lines when they're uncommented crash the compiler. It's something to do with kind of globals, global constants, and global variables. In either case, this code itself could actually be kind of rewritten in such a way that we don't require doing stuff with absolutes. In particular, I could literally just replace this with 0. So the first thing I want to do is see if this actually makes it compile now, and if not, we'll continue to figure out some things to do. So I'll create a new window. Let's go back into the Sokoban, and we want to compile, give the compiler access to the codex directory in that, what was the name of it? LBC, codex, compile error1.lbc. Then we want to write to, it was temp. Was it? Oh, it was CLB. Oops, it was this one. Okay, this is still crashing the compiler, which is really annoying. What to do? I wonder if it has something to do with a confusion with regards to order of operations. Perhaps actually the compiler needs this in order to figure out what to do. Let's try compiling with this. No, still doesn't like this. This is really unfortunate. Because I don't want to have 4 different parts of the input processing code. I just want to put these in a loop. I'm kind of curious, can we actually, will this itself compile? If we're just saying dereference both of these and literally just set them to be equal to 0, is this going to be okay? Part of me is also wondering if it's because these are not initialized in some way, but I don't. Okay, we're actually getting a compile error now. But this is because there are no semicolons. let's see, is this going to crash the compiler? Okay, it looks like this is going to be fine. Yeah, so if we now do like productor temp, okay, that's fine. So what really is going wrong here? Is it something about like the and? Let's say I and this with like 1 and say 0. Is this going to crash the compiler? Okay, this was unexpected. Okay, so why can't we do an and here? Or rather, how do we code without using this and? I doubt this will work, but there's a small chance it will. If we add parentheses to this, will this crash? Yeah, still does. Okay, I kind of wonder if I can do... There's several ways of like fixing this. One way would be to create a temporary variable. And then, okay, I wonder if even creating a temporary variable would crash this. So can we do the following? Can we say like temp and set this equal to left key down, dereferenced and 1. And for the moment, we'll just comment both of these. Is this the line alone going to screw up the compiler? No, this is okay. It can do this. So this is now like it's an unsatisfying fix, but it's a temporary fix nonetheless. Another option could potentially be the following. We could try and simply set the first element in the array to be this, and then we could try doing something like MBA 0 and equals, or maybe, I'll see if this works, and equals 1. I'm not sure if the language can support this. Okay, in either case, I think what I want, I'm a bit confused. I want to just do a bitwise and. I'm not even sure if it's a single like ampersand or 2 in terms of the operators. Like what actually even is the difference between these? So in most programming languages that have a Boolean type, the double ampersand is simply return a 0 or 1 depending on the things, which should be fine in our case. I guess in this case the bitwise AND should be fine. That's just something to think about. Okay, so let's see if this itself, if this works. I'm not sure if these operators have been implemented in the compiler. Yeah, it doesn't understand it. Okay. In either case, we have our temporary fix. So we just want to create some temporary stack variables and then assign these. But okay, I may be speaking too soon. We really need to make sure that, say, this expression is okay. So yeah, will this compile? Okay, it looks like this will. Okay, so now we have our fix. That's fine. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I moved something to a different screen that I didn't want to. But that is okay. Delete that one. In either case, we know what to do in order to get our main program working again. So I just added in here note defining a stack. Before stop, say compiler crash. Okay. So yeah, so we'll now go back into the main code of the game and then implement this this fix. So we want to do script or the Sokoban. And where was this crashing yesterday? I think was it like yeah, this here was kind of failing. So I'm not sure why we like okay, in either case, I think like in a lot of games, in games that I programmed, I typically like to just make some global variables that say things like attempt move left. And then later on in the code you can say like if the left move has been attempted to do something, as opposed to simply defining all of the logic in terms of like the specific key presses. So I think if anything, the fact that we kind of have to make at least some temporary, some stack variables to avoid the compiler crash currently is a good thing. But now I'm thinking, should we actually just make some global variables instead? I'm not predicting that like the key press logic would be used elsewhere in the program, so I don't see a need for these to be globals. But I think we will just make some local stuff anyway. So I can say like so let's say like attempt to move left, or rather, what if this is called like key press left? Because that is kind of what we're detecting. Key press left is equal to this thing. And then we likewise just want, this always happens. The right, the up, and the down. Now we want right key down. Okay. I'm being a bit, it doesn't have to be like this. Okay, and now we've got that, we can simply assign each of these to be the respective values. Okay. One thing I kind of want to see actually is whether or not in this language arrays can be like initialized with kind of thing. So one way of currently writing this would be to just do key press left and we'll do this version just to make sure it's compiling and working. Then I'll try and reduce the number of characters in this code. Because this is something I wanted to, like this like array initialization is something I've wanted to do at least one other time, and I want to do it a couple more times. Okay. So let's just see if the compiler is okay with this. And it should be, based upon our experiments. So you want to go into the Sokoban, and you want to do CLB codex Sokoban LBC and then the output, which is just Sokoban M. Yes, you have permission to edit Sokoban.pb. Okay, this looks like it's going to be okay. Let's just continue on with the code. So now this array is initialized. We can actually just do the loop now, which generalizes all of this stuff. So we will be able to jettison that stuff if it works correctly. Try compiling this again. Okay, it looks like it will at least compile. And then we'll just run the game and make sure that the movement still works. And now as well, our debug print statement for the boat movement should now press, so now say like we're trying to move left, right, up and down. When I press the arrow keys, nothing is happening. Oops. We'll need to figure out why the character is not moving anymore. But we are doing like a temp boat move code. What? Let's crash out of that and run it again. Okay. Left, right, up, down. Nothing so far. Space. Left, right, up, down. Space. Okay. And lots of buttons got pressed. But like so many of them. Like we're seeing 0, 1, 2, 3, which is expected, but I'm not expecting to see so many of these. Yeah, this is unexpected. I think this was because of the logic of the loop itself. Like there's something wrong in here. Yeah, because we're not actually using this like MBA array at any given stage. Okay, so let's have this like to be like the movable. We'll keep it MBA just for now. And then yeah, down here we want to just check if we want to check the state of the Boolean in this thing. So we want to say if this thing even has been pressed, then try the following. Otherwise, let's continue. I'm just thinking now, is there a way to remove the number of C statements in this? I think this is fine. Okay. Compile again. Oh. Okay, we could say something like if, like, continue the loop if the thing is 0. That would at least stop like an if statement within an if statement. Okay, and now the character movement is back to normal. And now if we say spacebar, try move the boat up, down, left, right. Yeah, we get an appropriate number of debug calls. So this is good. Okay. Okay, so now, yeah, let's just like make this. Let's replace this with like continue. How do we do the continue call in this programming language again? It's like, I think it's this one, like proceed A. I think Sam said the trick is to, like, you want to proceed through the loop when this is called. In either case, let's just try this. So I think we want to say if this is false, we're just going to continue to go through the loop. Otherwise, I just press back. Otherwise, do the logic. Okay. Now at least there's not like an if statement within an if statement. Yeah, not that this will have like any actual like performance penalty, but it's like it makes it easy to read. It's neater. So. Okay, and then yeah, if this works, we'll then try. I want to try the array initialization syntax. And then I can just like avoid having all of these extra lines for like the MBA. We could just do it in a single line. Okay, yeah, movement's happening as usual. Everything seems to be fine. Let me just do the boat movement call. Left, right, up, down. Yep. That is what we expect. So yeah, array initialization stuff. So I kind of want to do something like the following. I want to say like, let's call this like MBA2. I want to say equals, it's like 1, and then importantly, say like key press left. Will the compiler allow me to do this? Okay, maybe it's a syntax thing. Like perhaps I need to specify what the type of this is. Because at least in Zig, yeah, this would also fail upon a compilation attempt. It would have to say something like, at least in Zig, it would be this. No, it doesn't like this. I feel like at some stage I did see in some code a way to initialize this. I wonder if it's in the old and admittedly outdated documentation, but I wanna see. So let's say we go to yeah. Is there a way in this to potentially not? Okay, I do think we just, for the moment, we'll just specify it like in the usual way. Okay. Okay. So then I'll just put this in here so it like doesn't seem is something like okay, so let's just give these proper names now. So we can call this the movable array. If only I had Emacs. I can do control C, control V. That would be fast. Okay. Okay, so now that is working, we can delete all of this. Great. So let's say, and I should just describe what's happening here. Really, that should be happening. So yeah, we're toggling the voting state. I kind of understand why I included that comment in there, but it would be easier to read like this. And then here I want to say try moving the character or the vote. Like, I'm unsure if I should leave a new line between these comments and the code. We'll eventually get syntax highlighting, and when we do, this will be easier to read. Currently, without syntax highlighting, that's kind of easier, but we'll leave it like this for now. Okay, so now I want to do we want to do this. We want to create a vector2 data type and then rewrite the code to use it. Given I've just adjusted the code for my sanity, I will attempt to compile this again and make sure it's still working. Okay, and then we'll need to look up how to do the structs in this language. Okay, so while this compiles, let me check out the easy documentation. Why do I keep on closing this window when I'm referring to it a lot? We'll keep it open. How do we do structs? This looks like a struct. Okay. The syntax may be changed, but it's basically yeah, it's a structure and name of struct, type followed by stuff. Can these be default initialized? I'm guessing not. Okay, let's find an example in the code in case the syntax has changed since the documentation. But I doubt like the actual structure of it has changed. Okay. What would be an easy place to find examples of structs? When we were doing the key press stuff, I copied the new main struct, at least I think I did, so it should actually just be in this file. So if I scroll to the bottom, did I copy it down in here? No, I didn't. Annoying. In either case, we'll open up like a third window and let's see, we want to go into the Sokoban, we'll go into the codex and then the fulcrum. And then in one of these standard library files, there will absolutely be a struct. The question is, where is it? If we open without editing, maybe like container, surely code with container has some structs in it. Okay, and it does. And like I predicted, the macrons are different in this. So it was good, it was very good. We looked up the source code. So let's just copy this and suspend it in case we need to come back to it. And then we'll go to our file here. Let's just paste this down here. Yeah, so it's basically, oh, and this is like a generalized like type version as well, which is, we're not there yet. So we just want to say, yeah, structura thing, and then there's a list of the fields. A list of the field types with names. So structura, which we'll copy. Okay, so to do the vector2 data type, let's just put data types above, and structs above all of these constants. So we want to say structura. In games, a lot of vectors are just floats, but in this case, we're dealing with integer floats. So it might be, should we say something like vec3 n8? For 1, it's 2 and it's an S64. What should we call this? So I don't think at any point in this game I'm actually going to have arrays with floats in them. Like, everything's just been integers so far. So I could probably get away with just calling this vec2. Question, do we have to put a semicolon at the end of this? In Zig we would, but not in this language. Okay. And then we just want the data type of the first, and we'll just deal with all of these will be signed 64s, and we'll just call them X and Y. And do we separate? Oh, we don't separate these with commas like in Zig. We separate these with semicolons. Okay. Now we want to use this, but I'm just thinking if I should compile it. I think it should be okay. Okay, so now we want to set some globals that are this struct. Oh no, how many times will we need to dereference things? So I guess we need to dereference the pointer to the struct, and then we'll figure this out. Okay, so we want to replace this code with our vector struct. So let's call this to begin with variable vec2. The character pause. Let's just see if this compiles. This is what we want. Good thing we tested it. Deficit add formatter not as indexing. Not a helpful compiler error message since there is none. So, not that this is the screen we want. What to do? Could it be this? Are we not allowed to assign global variables in a struct? No, okay. So I guess it was the struct declaration itself that failed. Yeah, I was just like, I really should compile this and check it. So yeah, so why is this failing? We separated things with semicolons. Oh, I was using the Zig syntax. This would be a good compile error message to relay to Sam. So I'll copy, I don't know, actually it's not. Sam has enough on his plate. This is fine. So it should just, yeah, it's literally just, yeah, type space thing. Okay. So then let's go back to the character position. Try this. Save, suspend, compile. Yeah, I feel like truly the only way to learn a programming language is to write something non-trivial in it. It's like, I glanced over like the how to define a struct the first time I read the documentation, and then 10 minutes ago, and still errors were made. Okay, it looks like this is gonna compile, and then it hasn't crashed, and we can still move. Well, it's a bit laggy, which is unexpected. Why is the screen not drawing as quickly? Yeah, I'm quite confused. Oh, maybe it's like my own, maybe it's like my caption. I don't know. In either case, nothing we can do about it at this point without a lot of pain. So we'll continue. Again, like this, if we want a profiler, we need to write one. So, so now let's comment this out. Actually, before we comment that out, certainly give compile errors. Let's try replacing. Let's go to the point where we set the character xpos and ypos and replace it with the new character pos. So we first set it in the main loop before we do the main kind of, in the main procedure before we do the game loop. In particular up here. So now, how exactly do we need to dereference stuff? So is it the following? Is it dereference the struct, then say choose element 0, or can we actually just say oh, it's not even 0 and 1, because it's x and y here. Is it dereference .x? How even do we reference structs in this language? I feel like it would be both cleaner to read and pass like this. There's also another question of, can we even do equality among structs? Like, could I actually say up here, like define there's so many questions. Define a temporary stack variable to have type vec2 and say that's like 2 and 2, and then just say global character pos equals the other one. I'm gonna guess no, but we'll try this for now. We'll just compile. Yeah, it seems to be working. I want some snacks. Okay, hasn't crashed. Okay, this is fine. Okay, so now let's just replace the code with what we've got. Yeah, with what's happening now. So we'll comment this, and we'll comment these the other globals up here. And then this is going to break a lot of stuff. The compiler currently will get to a point where something's broken and then immediately pause. So I want to let's just read through all of this code and adjust things as necessary. When we're switching the tile, we don't need this pause. When we're switching the colors, we don't need it. Okay, for the rendering the character, we absolutely do. So here we can say the tile X and the tile Y are just these ones. And I don't think there's any need here to like use another vec2 to like represent the tile X dot Y. Like it's not going to change. It's only going to add more lines of code. And the only way it would be more readable is if we now have tile dot X or tile dot Y. Like, who cares? It's fine. Then process input. I don't think this is using the character position. No, it's not. Attempt character move. This absolutely is going to use it. Okay, so for this like adjust tile X pos and Y pos, this probably could get, it probably would be good to wrap that up in a different type. Move adjacent tile to vec2. We'll come back to this. If not today, the next time I read this line. Right, and then since we just defined everything locally in terms of that and that, we shouldn't Shouldn't need to adjust anything more. Okay, for the toggle boat movement, we do want to do that here. And again, the current tile could be wrapped up in a vector. Wrap up current tile in vector. I'm not seeing another call in this procedure to the character pause. Okay, attempt boat move, we're going to rewrite this. We changed these a moment ago. These tile offsets will change. Is that it? That might be it. Compile time. I knew there was going to be an error. I knew we were going to miss something. Okay, line 290. Compile, please. Some water. Okay, this looks hopeful. Our game is taking a while to compile because of these libraries. I'm wondering if there's something that could be done about this. In either case, let's see. Okay, the character still moves. This is good. Let's do right, left, down, up. Like, I'm still not massively liking the lag. I guess part of this is that we're rendering like the entire screen every time. Once the gameplay is working, we'll then worry about optimization and stuff. Okay, back to this. Okay, so now we want to do these to-dos now and replace some of the stuff. Okay, so we want to do this one. Wrap up the current tile in vec2. Let's first check that this would be worthwhile. Again. So yeah, so we're calculating like current tile plus x plus y here. Like throughout all of these, if this was programming in Odin, you could say you can define, like in Odin, if you define structs and you're not dealing with stuff like dynamic arrays, although it may even work for dynamic arrays, you can just say struct 1 equals struct 2, and it will do the correct like Boolean logic of like comparing each individual field. I would be really surprised if this programming language had that capability, but if it did, it would massively simplify the code. So I wanna, let's just see if we can do something like this. So I want to, what I want to say is a vec2 current tile pos is equal to character pos dereferenced. Like, will this be okay? Let's just compile this and check. Oops. Okay, maybe it actually will. Oh, I guess, yeah, you could just implement this with like a memory copy, like provided the compiler checks the types are like fine. You can just say move all of the necessary bytes in this over. Okay, this will be quite helpful in simplifying the code. Great, okay. Yeah, so let's just now like uncomment both of these. And now we want to replace all instances of current tile pos x and pos y with the things. But even here with like the rectangle top left positions and the rectangle bottom right positions, these as well can be, we can wrap up with matrix types with this struct. So here we could say vec2, rectangle top left position, and since we know that like the array initialization syntax, if it is work, I don't know how to get it working. We would need to define this. We would need to say just 0 initialize this, and then set each of them kind of separately. Like this is adding in another line of code, but it's perhaps, it seems to be just as readable, right? It makes it slightly more organized. Rectangle bottom right pos is equal to, well, it's a stack variable. And then set the fields to be the things. Okay, so maybe actually this code could be simplified a bit. So in some sense, all these lines are doing is just saying, get the current tile position and then offset the coordinates in this certain way. What we could do is just to say the rectangle top left position is going to equal the current tile position, and then we just offset that in the appropriate way. That would probably be a lot easier. That would be easier to read, I think. It would add in like, maybe it would be the same number of lines of codes, but logically I think it's easy to follow what's happening. Okay, but actually we'll do, I kind of want to do that change after this is compiling again. So let's say to do simplify. So continue making these changes. And then if we're still printing our debug messages, I want to do this. And then switch on moving tiles to not moving. Okay, let's try compiling this. What did we miss? 364. Yeah, so something like this. Okay. Let's just this will likely be fine. Actually, since this was a change to the core bird movement code, we should test this out. Even though what we're doing is very simple, nothing is simple when you're using a programming language and compiler that is very, very new. Serenum doesn't have internet yet, but we'll get it soon. Okay, didn't crash. Okay, and let's say we do like left, 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 right, up, down. Yeah, I see that in the debug messages. Okay, things are still working. Okay, so now let's do like the simplifying part of this code. Okay, so first we can jettison and get rid of this one. Yeah, so here I want to say the top left position is going to be, okay, these are vector types. I doubt in this programming language that the addition and subtraction have been overloaded like in Odin to do stuff. So I couldn't exactly here write the top left rectangle is equal to the current tile position minus like the max boat length, but this is, that's okay. We can at least say we can at least simplify it as follows. We can now say subtract from what it is. The max boat length minus 1. And likewise here, we can just say this is also equal to the current tile position. And then add to it. Equals minus doesn't feel like the correct syntax. I kind of want it to be aligned like this. Okay. Like, it would be nice if these could be simplified with vectors in some way, but it's here for the moment. Okay. Is there some way of like dealing with this in a simple way? I think it's fine as it is. If this was Zig, I would immediately try and compile it. Why is there a weird space in between? Let's just do it, just in case. Okay, that's fine. No compile errors for our pasta. And then we also wanted to simplify something else. Where was it again? Was it this part here? It must be. Okay. Attempt character move and simplify this. So we want to say so now we want to say vec2 adjacent tile position is just equal to the character pos dereferenced. Let's comment out these. Then that's one less line of code. Then we want to set these directions. Yeah, if the direction pressed is left, move that. Do that. Do that. And then read that in there. Read that down. Whoa. And then this part here itself can be simplified too. We can now just say the character position is equal to the adjacent tile. Okay, this is a part where some of the lines of code have been simplified. Okay, let's try compiling. And this time we will actually just run the program, press the movement keys to make sure it is okay. Yeah, hopefully I didn't introduce any dereference errors. We will see. Okay, great. Moving left and right is okay. And if we try and move the boat left, up, right, and down, why does it say 0, 2, 1, 3? I was expecting 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I pressed them in a different order. Okay, but otherwise it is working. So, well, I feel like yeah, compared to like yesterday, a lot is getting done today. I mean, admittedly, yesterday was hard. We had to compile a bug. This is nice. Okay. We can simplify that. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Okay. The code is getting simplified, which is what we want. I don't think this is it. So yeah, attempt character move is now easy to read. And then for the toggle the boat movement, I feel like there's stuff we'll need to some commented line we can delete. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Okay, so now we've done that, we can actually get onto the main. I say done this, unless there's any other like vec2 positions. This thing itself, this looks like this could also, we could also wrap this up. Yeah, I don't want to be thinking of the tile offset like as these two separate things. Let's simplify this as well. Maybe this results in like an extra line of code, but it's easier. Oh, these are N64s though. Do we actually need them to be unsigned? It's probably fine if they're not. Besides, everything's like an S64 anyway. Is there any way to simplify this using like the car pause? I think it is. Like in both cases, we're basically subtracting from the character position this kind of remainder. So what if we had vec2 tile offset is equal to the character position, and then we want to set the x and the y, and in particular set the x to be, well, we're subtracting from it. We're saying subtract from this thing. And likewise, we're saying subtract from it that. Okay, this did simplify the code. It's easier to read. What's this calculation doing there? Did I just stuff up this stuff? No, the tile offset should just be like the top. It's like the top left corner, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, basically what we want to do is like cast is like it's almost like do a division and like forget the remainder kind of thing. Okay, in either case. In either case, let's compile this. Let's try and compile it. Ooh. We did need to cast this. In either case, we probably can actually just cast it now below. Did I not switch it? Okay. So yeah, boat, finally we can do the boat logic time. But now with our new data structure. The movement works as expected. So yeah, let's go to the top of the file and get rid of this. We've done that to-do item. So now we need to do the boat logic. But actually, before we do that, let's delete some of these commented lines. Here we are, several hours later, but in a better position. Attempt boat move direction. Right, so I think we want to do the bounding box rectangle thing that we just modified above. And then, yeah, we then just want to iterate through this bounding box. And then if we find a tile that is a boat moving tile, we then want to say, we then just want to check like in the given direction if there is a water tile or another boat moving tile. So let's just get this. So it's just the same logic. And yeah, this is copy pasta from toggle boat. Okay. And then we'll need to think about how to, in this loop, to do like the tile direction checking things. So this direction is in enum that it will just return a 0, 1, 2, or 3. And depending on this, for every boat moving tile, we want to look, you know, like left, right, up, or down. We want to examine the tile that's like that. We could have like an out of bounds array issue here, given that if the boat is like on the top of the screen and we press up, we're then going to be reading into the space above. Does this mean we need to also modify the bounding rectangle? Maybe we'll just let the program do its thing, probably crash, if the boat is like attempted to move when it's on like the border of the screen. Like the level should be designed in such a way that this isn't possible. So we'll leave this in here. But we still need to figure out how to do the movement logic. Although it's going to be pretty similar. So we can do more copy pasta. Only this time we don't need to do like a loop again. It can just be a usual dumb loop. So yeah, so what's happening here? If like, for one, we only want to do something if the tile is a boat moving tile, but then like again, how does this movement logic work? So why don't we just say tile equals G matrix I and J dereference. And then we can just say C tile, if the tile is not a boat moving tile, then continue, which was what prolata spelled how? We're on line 431. Where's the prolata? No, prolata's defer. This is like proceed. This is for but if it is a button moving tile, then what? This is where the direction will come in. Like, yeah, again, like what we need to do is clear. How to do it is not clear. What we want to do is just check the square left, check the square right, check the square up, or check the square down, depending on what the direction is. How do we do this in some way that's not ghastly? Because I also don't want like to have like an if condition saying like, what's the direction inside this for loop? Because then we're like calling this, again, it's not like, the performance probably wouldn't matter, but then we're like calling it like 25 times when this is something like that's passed in as a constant to the function. Like we should just like evaluate something immediately from the direction and then just use that within the loop several times. Logically, it's easier to think about that way. We could define some variables called like I offset and J offset, which is literally just like plus or minus 1 or 0. And then just call this constantly. It doesn't, it feels slightly inelegant though. Actually, maybe it's fine. Like we're going to be using it. If the boat can move in that direction, we're going to be using it anyway. Okay, let's try this. So let's just do we want like a switch statement. If direction is equal to what the enum values are, which is direction left, direction right, up or down. We want 4 or something. Yeah, so why don't we say, oh, I guess this offset can be a vector too. So we can say tile, or like adjacent tile offset, or maybe just like tile, tile offset. And then if we're going in the direction left, we want to say tile offset seems like too long. What about like T offset? the t offset x is, well, the y isn't changing, the y will be set to 0, but we're setting this to be 1. If instead the direction, can I say this? If the direction is equal to right, then the tau offset is come on, is one more. I need my Dvorak keyboard on this operating system. Or if the direction is instead, this is too many lines of code, let's simplify it. Why is there lag? There's like lag when I'm using this. Is it because we have another version of the scriptor open over here? Like, we don't need that. I just wonder if it's something with like the scheduler in the operating system that's causing that. Okay. Up. And down. Yeah, and up does correspond to doing that. And then, okay, if we get something, is it like C none? If we get something that's not any of those, we want to just print like an error message and probably return. I think the O had a macron as well. Otherwise, we want to say regere error unrecognized direction. And let's just print out what it is. It is like a debug, but it's not a it's not like a usual debug. Oh, let's call this error. Okay, so now we have that tau offset. We can use that when we're checking stuff in the loop here. Okay. Already, like, there's a lot of code, so I kind of want to compile this, but we'll push through this and deal with the chain of errors and compile bugs at the end. So we want to say something like movement possible equals true. Movement possible equals various, and then I think it's a bit easier to read what's happening without this. When it's written like this. So if it's a boat moving tile, we want to say adjacent tile is equal to the G matrix. And now it's the I plus the tile offset in the Y, followed by the J plus the, will we need to cast this? No. Plus the offset in the X, dereferenced. And then here we want to say, we want to check if this adjacent tile is equal to check that the adjacent tile is water, or, well, we may as well be precise. Okay, we're on line 440. Water tile or boat moving tile. 440. Or boat moving tile. Okay, and if it's not, the boat movement is not possible. So we should say C adjacent tile, if the adjacent tile is not equal to the water tile, or the adjacent tile is not equal to the boat moving tile. So that's okay, more like De Morgan thing, logic. So it's okay if it's the water tile or the adjacent tile, and so it's not okay if it's not the water tile and it's not the adjacent tile. Good thing I checked. Yeah, if it's not this and that, then the boat can't move. So then we need to say movement possible is equal to Bolsus. And then we can just immediately quit the loop. So I think we can just return. Well, okay, I want to return from 2 loops. If this was Zig or Odin, I would just say, like, quit from the outer loop. And then down the bottom, I could have some more, like, processing, like maybe something else happens. We probably could actually return from this function right here, since we can't move the boat in that direction. And, like, nothing's happening. But later on, when we program, it could be interesting to have some, like, animation potentially that kind of shows that the boat is, like, moving in the wrong direction, in which case I would want to not immediately return from this procedure, but simply break from it, from this loop, but simply break from it. How do we break again? Okay, proceed is prolatas defer. Maybe is design break. Stop the loop when I equals 9. I think design is break. So I think we want to do. Oh, I forgot how to spell it. A macron on the E, D sign. What's happening? So this will only break from like the innermost loop. It's a small enough loop anyway, so kind of who cares if we just do redundant stuff in the outside loop as well. We've set it to be false, that's fine. Another possibility is we just like OR the movement possible with a water tile and adjacent tile. If we were doing SIMD stuff, this could maybe result in some optimizations. Since we're then just like, no, it should be fine. It should be fine. We'll just, actually it probably wouldn't because of this. Okay, we'll try this. So yeah, that's C loop, that's C statement, done. Okay, and then here we want to say C movement possible equals Brevis. We then want to say, let's do another debug print before we actually do any of the actual moving the boat logic. Regere boat movement possible in direction, then the direction. Okay, and for this, let's just mark this as a debug. And likewise up here, this should really be marked as a debug too. Okay, let's try and compile. And if this works, we will be very close to moving the boat. But alas, it's our favorite compile error. I mean, yeah, I mean it is a compile error. Missing the comma. Compile. Oh, a different one. Current tile pause. Doesn't know what this is. 421. Huh? Did we not define this? Since this was Good thing we know that this is a copy pasta. I guess I need to define the current tile pos as well. Which is easy to do. We can just say, well, we don't even need to do that. We can just say, I mean, the current tile pos here is, we'll keep it the same. The current tile pos is just the character position. Like, it's just this line. Okay, this bodes well. Is it compiling faster now? I wonder if closing the script or program in the background really did make a difference. We could actually check. What's the overall time? Total time was 27 seconds for that compile. What happened previously? 40 seconds. Yeah, yeah, that was a lot faster. Curious. Okay, in either case, let's check this isn't crashing. Okay, so here when we do the boat movement, it shouldn't be able to move left. It should be able to move right. It should not be able to move up, and it should be able to move down. So let's see. It says, yeah, boat movement possible to the right, which is good, and boat movement possible down, which is great. Okay, that is what we wanted. I can probably, we'll continue to keep in the bounding rectangle debug messages for now, but we'll clear them out if the boat movement, if we get the boat movement working. Okay, so it's good so far. And then actually we'll have here if the boat movement is not possible, then we'll exit the function here, the procedure here. So we kind of don't need to return. Yeah. Okay, so now this is the part where we need to be really careful about how we do the update of the boat. So now I want to say boat movement is possible. So move the boat. Okay, currently in the map, last time or a while ago when we were testing the boat toggling, I added in some extra boats. But now there's just the boat. The boat there is meant to be for the first screen at the moment. So let's program this logic. Okay, so now we need to do what? Going through the bounding rectangle, each time we find a boat moving tile, we want to replace it with water and then go to the offset and write in the offset the thing, a boat moving tile. We need to be careful in that as we iterate over the array, we don't want to do something where like say we're moving the boat right, and the boat is in the top left corner. This wouldn't happen exactly because of this, the same idea holds. So say the boat was in the top right corner. If we weren't careful about how we would do it, we would say, the boat in the top right corner, there's a boat in the top right corner, so make that tile 0, and then in the next square paste a boat. But then when we iterate through this array, when we went to the second square, we would go, oh, there's a boat there, write water in, move to the right, etc. So then if we did this really crudely and the boat was in the top left corner, pressing right would move the boat like 5 squares at a time, which we don't want. So in order to stop this, we'll just create a like temporary tile. So let's call this like boat just moved. Make this like an 8. And this, let's spell it correctly. And yeah, we'll do the right as like, if it's a boat in the adjacent square, write a boat just move tile. And then this means when we go through the loop, like it will ignore it. And then after we've done all of those writes, we'll then need to convert all of the boat just move to boat moving tile again. Okay, but actually it should be like boat just moved tile. Yeah, but let's copy it in. Let's just copy all of these. Okay. So yeah, back here. We should say like to avoid weird array write errors. Well, it's rather like to avoid like array write errors. First update the tiles with the thing. Then once done, then replace all with the boat moving tile. It's quicker just to write it. Boat moving tiles. I say like that. Okay, so let's just wrap all of these in inline comment. Whoa, no. Just one. Actually, we'll do that. Okay, so now we want to go back through, we want to do the same dumb loop. Wait, the logic here is almost the same. You can just copy paste the entire thing. Okay, another way of doing this to avoid going through the loop so many times would be the first time we go through the loop, we like update things correctly. No. I was gonna say like update things correctly and then like reverse it if it was found to be incorrect. But that's a recipe for disaster. It's easy just to go through it several times. So we go through the loop this time, and this time, if it's a boat moving tile, there's no need to check this anymore. We just want to say the adjacent tile is equal to the boat just moved tile, and that's kind of all that we're doing. We can replace this line. We can just do this directly. We can say if the G matrix is equal to that, and set the offset. And we also need to set it to water. So now we want to say G matrix J. Oh, hang on. Oh, we need to be really. We need to be more careful. Do I? I'm just thinking in my head, are we somehow going to erase the boat moving tiles if we just immediately set these to water? Like in my head, I was thinking this will work, and now I'm really doubting it, really scrutinizing it. No, I think it should be fine, since in order for the boat to, oh, hang on. I was going to say in order for the boat to move anyway, every tile it's moving into is either water or the boat moving tile. If it's moving into the water, it's fine. Okay, but here's the problem. If when we replace the adjacent tile with the boat moving tile, if that tile itself is a boat moving tile, we're not going to like move it up appropriately. So this would result in the boat permanently changing. Okay. So maybe instead we need to like cache like the updated boat and then like copy it over somehow. This, I don't want to like invoke allocators at this point. Let's keep it all into the stack. We can, the easiest way would honestly just be defining a clone of like, basically a clone of the G matrix, writing in like the updated boat positions to that, then like going through that. This would also mean we don't need to like write this boat moving tile in. This might be the way to do it. Okay, so say we define another like huge stack variable. It's not that huge, but maybe for this operating system, computing system it is. Just like a copy of like a blank copy of the game matrix. If when we're iterating through this, we find a boat moving tile, we then say set this thing to water in the actual game state, and then write like where the boat tile would move in the game state copy, the G matrix copy. Once we've gone through that loop once, all of the boat tiles have been replaced with water and the correct position has been sent elsewhere. Then go to that elsewhere and just copy in all of the boat moving tiles back. Then this way, since we're like writing in like a fresh location, there's no risk of like erasing things. And this would be really easy to implement. Yeah, and I think this should be fine. I don't think it should be an issue if we're making this like stack G matrix. Okay. Okay, so we can now just like revert a lot of these things. So no need for that anymore. How big is the G matrix again? We may as well define it as a global up here. We'll call this like blank G matrix. Like, unless it's possible to say, define some like, okay, there's like a really minor problem. I just don't want to define this as a stack variable, since then we would like need to like remember if when we update this in the future to like update it there. Actually, that's fine. Like we'll get some compile error, whatever. It's easier than like dealing with all of these globals. Okay, so we'll do. It's just go back to the move boat. We're gonna have to rewrite all of that comment, but that's fine. So we'll call this like blank G matrix. So we'll say first update the boat tiles. First replace the boat tiles with water while writing the new tile location to blank G matrix. Yeah, so like, yeah, I see that's too early. This way we don't need to worry about like initializing, like just setting it to be 0 here is the right thing to do. It's the easier thing to do. then rewrite write the boat position back. Okay. And okay, we're doing boat tiles. Okay. Yeah, so we're doing all of this. If it's a boat moving tile, set it to equal the water tile. And then we want to say in the offset in the blank G matrix, do the offset. And then we want boat moving okay, so we replace all of those with water, we write them all in there, and then we just need to write everything back. No, that should be commented. Okay. Oh no, this is meant to be. What am I doing? Oh, how I missed the. Like in Emacs, you just do this and then you press the tab key and it all automatically indents. Oh well. Baby steps. So. Moving on. Okay, so yeah, I just want to compile this. It's going to be incorrect, but it will be a building block in which to continue. Oh, we have an error. But I need to respond to a text message first. Okay. 1, 4, 5, 8. Missing semicolon by the looks of it. other missing semicolons? I am hungry. I need brunch. Let's see. But we're nearly close. Like, we're so close to doing this. Tying to the reference non-pointer type N8. Huh? Oh, that's right. It's a stack variable, so there's no need to dereference this. Copy past error. Compile, please. And then we can get on to moving the boat. Why is it taking so long to compile? What? It's usually done, Sokoban.lvc by now. Let's just quit this and try it again. Maybe it was like is there some Heisenberg bug in the compiler? We can quit this window, but I forget how to. It shouldn't be taking this long to compile. Now I'm worried there's like another... We're crashing the compiler in some way. We're not stalling it at least. Yeah, something's really wrong. Let's just quit that. What did we do? Was it because we made a stack variable that was too large? Like, okay, let's say I comment all of this stuff. Or is it, if it's like a bloody alignment issue, I'm gonna be pissed. Let's check it again. Will this compile? Okay, it is. So maybe the compiler is, we are failing the compiler when we're saying make a stack variable that's this G matrix size. Maybe this is the problem. I don't want to have to do like temporary things though. Maybe it's actually, maybe it's not too bad. It kind of is. Okay, what if we do an easier thing? It's not easier at all, but it's like... Let's just say it's like 10 by 10. And this is not the way to do it. Like, this should compile, but it shouldn't run. unless the compiler is like doing some error bounds checking for us. But I would imagine this will compile, and then when we run it, we'll get some out of bounds error immediately. Are you serious? Okay, it's compiling. It's okay. So I guess maybe we should just do like the more complicated but memory efficient thing. Okay, so I am expecting a crash when we try and do move related stuff with the boat. So if I press spacebar and up, it didn't get a crash. Curious. Interesting. In either case, yeah, this seems to be an issue. So okay, so okay, well, the thing is, like, it wasn't that big. It's just, if it's just 48 by 12, it's like it's not really that big at all. Like, is this really stalling the compiler? Like, say I make this 100. Yeah. Is this really gonna just not refuse to compile it? Or at least get stuck when it's compiling? Yeah, in either case, like, it's unacceptable as part of like the development process to be waiting this long. Okay, we need to work another unexpected workaround needed for the compiler. So, so what do we want to do? Let's update this loop. We will make this like we need like a boat length. So we'll do the max boat length. Max boat length. Oh, will it? I don't think the compiler would like this. We'll just include like a buffer here. We'll make it 10 by 10. Here we'll make the I equals 0. But now we want to run I from 0 up to the rectangle bottom right position minus the rectangle top left Y position. And there's like, we need to like add 1 or something, or this may be incorrect. Let's see, if this was a like, if the boat width was like 1 and we would need to check like a 3 by 3 array, the difference between these two, between 0 and 2 would be 2. And then we'd want to do 0, 1, I equals 0, 1, and 2. So, okay, I think that's fine. Likewise here, we just want to set I as 0. And now run this, run the rectangle top left, pos.x. Okay, now we need to do offsets. So now we're no longer reading this. We're now doing I plus the rectangle. I should also add in a comment. The compiler cannot seem to handle large stack. Variable. Damn. I hate QWERTY keyboard is so backwards. The QWERTY keyboard is so terrible. Some dictator, some big country needs to get some big dictator, and the dictator says the QWERTY keyboard is immediately banned. Everyone is using Dvorak from now on. And then the world will, world peace will be achieved. QWERTY is so bad. Rectangle. We're now doing everything from the top left position since it's an offset. And we're offsetting the Y in this case. Rectangle, bottom right. Still the top left. And now it's the X. And if that's equal to it, then we're replacing it with the water tile. Otherwise, we can now rewrite to our small stack buffer the location of the boat moving tile. Okay. Let's see if we can compile this. And then we need to do the boat right. Okay, so if this does compile when we run it, moving the boat should result in the boat just completely disappearing. There's going to be another out of bounds error if we try moving the boat left or up, because we're setting the base point for the we'll modify it. No, pressing right doesn't do anything. Pressing down doesn't do anything. Why? Not on. Not on. I feel like this code isn't getting run. let's move this error. I'm wondering if this here is the issue. Is there something wrong with this like logic that it's failing it? So let's just say here attempting to move the boat. Will we get this working before 3 hours into the stream? That is a question. Left down. Okay, it was getting caught. It was something wrong with the right. Oh, well, duh. Well, like, well, oh no, like, what's happening? We're reaching here, and then should I just print out like the values of the I and J? Maybe that would that be the issue? Oh, we made like the most noobish mistake at all. Another copy pasta error. Okay. Now we're setting it to the water tile. I'm too tired to like have faith that it will work. Let's just compile it again and see. Aha, okay, it's disappearing. Great. That's what we expected. Okay, so now we want to write in the stuff. Yeah, so now we've like done all of that. We want to say there's going to be another copy pasta there could be some copy paste errors. We now want to write the stuff back in. So yeah, so now we want to say, we want to go through, well, we have to like update this blank G matrix so it's not, so it won't have some aneurysm. So let's like offset everything by like 5. Let's do it by 3. The 3 is to avoid like array out of bounds, like out of bounds array access. Okay. So now we need to do everything in reverse. So now let's just iterate through this 100, this 10 by 10 array. And then if the blank G matrix entry is equal to a boat moving tile, then we need to write in the G matrix in the proper location the thing. Okay, so this is like so nasty, but I'm now just like too tired. We have to get this working. This would not be necessary if the compiler didn't store on assigning a stack variable with like 400 bytes. So I shift my responsibility on. So now we want to do, we want to start in the rectangle top left, rectangle top left position Y, and then do the thing. So now it's I, but the I itself has been shifted by +3, so we want to like subtract it, right? If we're like writing at I equals 5, it gets sent at 8, subtracting it's back at 5 to the offset, yeah. Now rectangle top left pos dot x plus j minus 3 dereference is equal to boat moving tile. And I think that should be it, unless I'm missing something. We now need to move the character, but we'll do that later. As in, once this compiles. Move character. Well, yeah, we'll just... I'm too tired. I want to see this work before I do any lines of code, any more lines of code. Let's try and move the boat down. Ah. Okay. Now we got an error. We got a crash. Okay. Can we move this in any direction without a crash? So moving it up shouldn't cause an issue, and moving it left shouldn't cause an issue, since it's impossible, which is correct. But moving it right now fails it. Why? Eras, index non-intraterminum. Index 10, terminus bound 10. Ah, I see. It's because we need to adjust the less than or equal to sign in the loop to just a strictly less than 10. So, make that there, make this here. Okay, and now look, we figured out something, so I guess we can now program the character update now. So now we want to say our character pause is equal to, we need to do the direction thing again. Compiler improvement. I mean, this kind of is a compiler bug. Like, the compiler should just like refuse to try and compile something if it's going to take too long. It would just say, no, it's too much memory. Too much stack memory. Yeah, so we just want to add the tile offset to the character. So if this was Odin, I would say something like, you know, plus equals tile offset. This won't work in this language, but that's okay. We can say character position x is equal to the tile offset of x, and then the same thing. Okay. Now let's attempt to compile. No. Here. Okay. Yeah, it's compiling. And like this, we're so close to doing this. And 2 hours 15 minutes on the stream clock. You might do this within 3 hours. Let's see. Uh-oh, not what I was intending. at all. I spoke too soon. Spoke way too soon. Let's quit this. Let's try running this again. So if I move it down, what happens? The boat remains in the same place, but I get shifted to the right by many squares. Let's try this again. Let's try moving right. I get shifted to a slightly different location. What if I try and move down here? Okay. And what if I try shifting down here? Okay, will I be adjacent to the diagonal right rock if I try and move it here? No, okay. Let's read through the code and find the bug. It's almost certainly something to do with offsets. Okay, so for one, the boat isn't getting moved anywhere. Which is kind of obvious since we're not offsetting it at all here. So we want to apply to this the tile offset dot y, and then the tile offset dot x. Okay. Okay, and now for the character movement, since that is totally stuffed up. What's happening? What's going on here? Yeah, why is this stuffing it up? Could it be because it actually wants this syntax? In either case, we know what to do. Like if the tile offsets are just plus or minus 1 and 0, this character movement is really puzzling. Okay, so let's move the boat right. Aha! Oh! Oh my goodness, it's working! It's working! Okay. We can now move the boat in our game. Hurrah. Okay. Aha! Okay, we can now finish the first level of our game. This feels so good to be here. It's taken a while, but we are here. And we're not going to go right there since there will be an out of bounds error. But actually, let's just test it. Let's just test the crash. Yeah. But hey, this is a phenomenal place to be. Okay. I am going to stop the stream here, and yeah, we did manage to do this within 3 hours. Hurrah! I'm certainly going to post this to the Discord since it's now like gameplay. And yeah, next time we will begin hang on. We need to like save and update this. Next time we will begin the possibly more difficult. Actually, I don't know how difficult it will be. A somewhat difficult task of adding in the stones to the game and getting the character to push them around. We won't do like the win logic, I think. Yeah, in that stream. It will likely take a couple of hours to get that stuff working. Yeah, this is going to happen later. So let's do next time. Start implementing. Yeah, start implementing the ability to push our stones around, and then after that we'll have to do kind of like win logic, but I'm actually gonna have to think more about what exactly to do. Like I don't want this game to be linear in the sense that if you're stuck on how to do one screen, you simply can't progress to the next. Like you should always just be able to like move boats or walk to the next screen. It's rather maybe at the end of the game you get some score like you delivered like 15 out of the 50 stones or whatever, and then like that's the kind of score in the end. Which would be convenient as it means I don't have to program like the win logic immediately. But we should have some like visual indication. Yeah, like include a visual indication that stones have been delivered. Like I kind of wonder what this should be. Like maybe we'll actually have something like in the top left of the screen that says like stones to be like delivered, and then it just like a counter that ticks down to 0. Or maybe like actually it could just be like stones delivered number like blank, no, number / maximum number, and then that would make it clear that the player has to like make the number go up, and yeah, that would be we would have to start doing like text rendering, which I don't like the idea of, but it's like a crucial component of almost any game, and in particular this game. So anyway, we'll do all of that next time. Let's just do one final compile. And then we're now at exactly 3 hours. And then we'll make a backup of this, and yeah, and then we can we can try making a video of this to include in the Discord. Last time I was worried that maybe making like the video on screen would screw up Brevis. So this is like so satisfying that I can now move boats in the game. Very satisfying. It's working, people. That would be an out of bounds error there. It's working. It will be like this particular level on this screen is kind of hard, but I'm quite proud of it. It's like everything's on one screen, and even though there's a single stone to push around, it is there's quite a path involved. Okay, yeah, let's crush this. Okay, let's pull the plug on the. Oh, hang on. First, we want to do we want to try making a capture of this. So, so let's see. If we go to here and do windowed projector source, can make the thing move. Oh, the aspect ratio is what it is. Whatever, it's fine. If we do, how do we? Okay, I need to swap keyboards now. There's like, is it like Xbox Game Bar, like record, like Xbox record? Is it like the? No, I want the Game Bar itself, not. Okay, it's just called Game Bar. And it just immediately hides create app. I think this is the one we want. It's like, oh, I can't record apparently. Oh, feedback, absolutely not. Yeah, I'm not seeing the what? Okay, it doesn't look like I can record something easily with this, which sucks. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna like start the stream now and then record this and post it to Discord as well as everything else. But yeah, thanks everyone who tuned in for the stream today. And yeah, the game, like there is now a working level in the game. There's a lot to do, but this is like, there's already some puzzles, and yeah, very, very quickly, like within the next 10 hours of programming, there will be some non-trivial levels will be playable. But yeah, take care everyone, and enjoy Patriotism Day. Bye.